Good morning, guys. Welcome to Pittsburgh. This is Anthony, and this is the mid-morning break room. I'm glad you guys are here to join us today. I got three awesome guys here with me. I got Craig, the Landshark picker. We got Tommy, the bargain effect, and Derek, Nascarman 3345. And today we're here to hang out with you guys, and we actually have a special theme for today, which was suggested the other day in the chat, which is time-saving tips and tricks. So we're going to be talking about that stuff, and we're hoping that you guys will contribute to this and tell us some stuff that might be able to help us as well. So we appreciate everyone being here, and I'm going to let the guys go ahead and introduce themselves. Start out, Craig.
Sure. Hey, my name is Craig. I have a YouTube channel that you probably don't want to look at. Actually, you better not. Landshark pick. I'm kidding. Sell on eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, Source, all the typical places everybody does. The yard sale, garage sale, thrift store, auctions, Craigslist, etc. But appreciate everybody coming in this morning. I'm in Alabama.
And Craigslist is not named after Craig himself. So
it's not.
Whatever. It would be nice if it was.
Who's up? I'll go. I'm Tommy, the bargain effect. Also have a YouTube channel, not much content yet. Working on that. Typical reseller, selling eBay, Macari, two main platforms. Do a little bit on Marketplace. Source, same old stuff, auctions, thrift stores, rummage sales, garage sales, flea markets, and just always out there looking for the treasure hunts, but never find the big treasures. Work on the little gems and just flipping.
Don't look for those treasure hunts. Look for those super treasure hunts.
Yeah. Right?
That's it. There you go. So, hi guys, I'm Derek, Nascarman 3345. I have my own YouTube channel. I do some eBay. I do starting to work with some Macari. Started working on that yesterday and get my everything set up there. And gonna do some offer up, let go, toy shows, diecast shows, which will be coming up this weekend. I'll be doing a lot of live from there. I have an auction on Monday nights and racing usually on Friday nights, but it will be tonight. So don't forget to check that out tonight. We got the racing ready to go.
Is it Thursday already?
Yeah. Yep.
You said that, and I'm like, no, it's not. It is Thursday. That's a very good point. And that was one of the things I had on my list for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So DC Sales is mentioning, as far as time saving, organize your inventory. Hubby and I have lost hours looking for an item that sold long tails, especially because they're not fresh in your memory. And I just had the same thing happen with a Hot Wheels. It was like a Mercedes-Benz car. Personally, I think it was moved from my shelf because I know exactly where it should be, but it wasn't there. So I spent 2 days looking for this thing, and I finally just got a hold of the buyer, and I was like, look, I can't find the car, but what I'm going to do is I put together a gift box for you, and I'm going to send that out to you. I'm going to refund your money, and I just appreciate your business. So I ended up sending them, a whole box full of like Hot Wheels and Matchbox and all kinds of stuff like that for free, over $2.50.
and I think that situation is common. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe not the solution, but part of the solution. I got hit by that bug early on. I sold stuff in the 90s. I took a good sized break time wise from selling on eBay. And then when I got back into it 2 years or so ago, I didn't have an inventory system in place out of the get go. I should have. And I think the key is having control of it as soon as you can, because once you get 100 items, 200 items, 500 items, 1,000 items, it's hard to turn around and start an inventory system. Mm-hmm. But with this, organization is the key, and I'm terrible at organizing. But that's one thing that I've really worked on over the last, I guess, probably a year ago, is when I realized, hey, I've got to do something. I got to get bins. When I list something, I've got to put the bin number in the listing so I know exactly where it is. And I think that's a challenge. It's hard for me to sit back and see. And this isn't meant to bash this, Anthony. It looks like you put stuff on shelves. The way I do things, and I'm not pointing you out. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do that.
Too.
I use bins. Everything outside of my electronics are in bins. When I list something, I put a bin number on. It may be work. It may be a couple of seconds extra time up front. But when I go to pull that order, I know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
Right.
The problem is maintaining that process. Not the problem. The key is maintaining that process. If you let up on 3 or 4 items, that's a potential failure when you go to pull that order. If you don't put a bin number on it, if you don't put it in the bin that you put in your listing that it's supposed to go in.
Right.
And I think it's hard because people are so ingrained into, I need to list 100 items today. If I take 3 more seconds on this listing, it's going to cost me time.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to say that people are bad for doing the way the things they do. It's just learning from mistakes is key, I think.
I'll give you an example. Like this goes on every single one of my items.
Right.
And then, obviously it's got my name up there because it stays on the item when I send it. Because like my clothes, we put in poly bags and then put them in filing cabinets and whatever. So like for instance, here we can get it to focus. The F will tell me that it's in a filing cabinet. It's in drawer 18 of that filing cabinet. It tells me here that it's listed. Everything's on eBay automatically, so I don't have to put that. But it's listed like on Mercari, Poshmark, Amazon.
I like that. I like that.
This is the original SKU that eBay will give it, and that just stays through. Even if I end it and relist it, this number stays in the, what is that? The custom
SKU.
Yeah, the custom SKU field. So that number will stay with it through the life it's in my inventory, even if the item number would change from relisting or whatever.
I like that you have the where it's listed in there. I have not considered that.
Yep. That way, when I pack it, I can always be like, oh yeah, I didn't remove it from Mercari, or I got
exactly.
It,
I mean, and then I think by having it there, it's going to trigger that I've got to do that. Versus, I sold it, I shipped it. Oh wait, a day later, you think, oh, I didn't take that off Mercari or take that off of.
Right, and I've added that in there because there has been times where I didn't remove it off of Mercari, or it did sell on Mercari, and I didn't take it off of eBay, and now somebody bought it a week later, and I'm like, oh, I don't have it no more, and I hate canceling orders, especially on eBay. And Mercari is not so bad, Poshmark is not so bad, but canceling on eBay is not good.
Yeah,
that's something I'm going to actually probably go through and do soon. Is I just need to do a complete inventory of everything I have. I go through and label each one of my drawers, each one of my bins, and just update the eBay listing with whatever one it's in.
It's worth it in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
I do inventory about once a month. I hate doing it, and I've only got 200 items in my store. I'm not afraid to say it. I need to have more, but that's all I've got.
Yeah.
And I hate doing it, but 200 items takes me an hour or two.
Yeah.
And that's watching the video or not doing it as hard as I should. But and I wonder if that's why people don't do stuff like that, is because it takes more. I hate to use the word effort, overhead, to maintain that process. Effort's the wrong word. That sounds derogatory. I don't mean it that way.
Right.
We actually do our inventory. We do our inventory like once a year. We probably should do it a whole lot more than that. But I haven't had a whole big issue with like not having stuff. I haven't had the issues that people have said about eBay, like their items disappear, their listings disappear, or whatever, so they got dead inventory. We haven't really come across that. But it's real easy because of the way that we have the label formatted in the custom SKU. We just sort by the custom SKU.
Right.
So it goes in alphabetical, like our shelves. We got B2, B3, B4, and then it goes on C2, C3. So everything's like, it'll go and put our inventory in location order, and then I just sit here and read it off. Destiny goes to that location. Yes, it's here. Yes, it's here. Yes, it's here. Oh, nope, it's not here. Now let's find it. And then we usually put the items that aren't in the proper location till the end, and then we search those down.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right there too, Lisa. You are right about that with the inventory. Now, here's the thing with everybody. Does everybody, even though you have the stuff that's been listed on eBay, do you still have pictures of the stuff that's unlisted? Just in case something like that does happen where there's a disaster or something really happens in the house.
I don't.
I don't.
Yeah, really, the only way I have to track right now is my eBay listings. But
Okay.
other than that, that's something I need to get up on too.
There's a good solution for that. Just list
Listing.
everything as soon as it comes to the door. then you don't have to worry about unlisted stuff.
Right.
But
Because I can see that happening. I mean, it happened to Todd the other day with the tornado that he had come through. He had the whole basement. I mean, granted, he knew a lot of stuff what he had, but how about if he didn't? And
Yeah, for sure.
Is that a situation? Maybe not. I don't know about pictures, but is that something that would help to log things as they come in the house, even if you don't list them? Hey, item, paid this. Typically the way I do things when I list something, I use the custom SKU, just like you're talking about, Tommy. I put the date that I bought it, the store I bought it from, the location of that store, because some of the same, I've got some of the same stores that have multiple locations. I put how much I paid for it, and I put the bin number where it's going. Like I said, I do like the fact that you're using the sites it's listed on. When I sold laptop parts way back in the 90s, you didn't have to worry about item numbers changing and all that. I printed out a little label about a little bit small on what you had, and all it had on it was the item number, the eBay item number, and I put it directly on the.
Right.
But I think the biggest thing with saving time and stuff like that is becoming efficient in general.
Right.
Use the word building processes or standard operating procedures, but if you list a certain way, if you always work in a certain workflow, if you always work in a certain area, you bring your things in, set them down right there to the left of where you would start. That sounds simple, but how much time does that save you if you're going to sit down and list? You don't have to go, wait, I've got a bag here, a bag here, a bag here, a bag here.
Right. Just up until recently, I work out of my dungeon, so my space is pretty limited. And I used to have it all set up where, there was no flow to it. My photo area was over there. Part of my shipping was over there. Part of it was over here. And I had stuff that was always in the way. So if I wanted to take a bunch of photos, I had to move stuff out of the way to be able to set up my lights to be able to do that. And now I need the space. So now I got to push all this stuff and stack stuff on the photo table. And me and Destiny came down and we kind of created a workflow. It comes down the basement door, pretty much right to the left. We have what we refer to as the drafting table, but it's the cleaning table. It's where she measures for clothes and stuff like that. And it comes right over here next to my desk, gets photoed, gets inventoried, goes into inventory where it's going, which is basically the horseshoe over there. And then further left of my door is the shipping area. So it kind of comes in my basement and just makes a perimeter and then right back out. And it has saved a ton of time.
Yeah. And Cody was basically asking if we have storage units to store inventory or whatnot. I'm pretty sure all of us on the panel, we all use our home for storage. And I don't know if you can see behind me, but literally I have these Blue Hawk, they're 4-tier plastic shelving. Each shelf holds 150 pounds wrapped all the way around the basement. So for the most part, I'm just using those. I'm using storage bins. I'm using shelving, not the best one to pull out, but yeah, I have like shelving and stuff where I put my smalls, stuff like that. I have clothing racks down here. So everything I have personally is stored inside of my basement for the most part.
Same thing. I have it all underneath my desk or in the closets and stuff like that where I have it available. But I do want to, we've been a little bit slacky today, but let's say hi to everybody that's come into the chat. We're 15 minutes in, we haven't really gone to that. So give everybody a chance to say who's hi. Go ahead, Anthony, if you want to do it. It's your show, bud.
Sure. Absolutely. So let's go all the way back up to the top. There's a lot of people that came in. I believe the first person that was here with us was Diane Matthews. Thank you so much for being the first. Lisa C. Debbie does sales. Eat Sleep Amazon. Tiffany, how you doing today? We got Dita here. Rebecca Kruder, good morning to you. Forgot to type your name in the chat. DC Sales is here. Glenn, the Swamp Picker. Siosa Sales is here with us. Just Meet Kathy. How are you today, Kathy? Glad you could be here with us. You're always here. Appreciate it. We got Veronica, the Cherry Picker. Thank you so much for being here this morning. And let's see who else we got. We got Christy Lee in the house. Thank you for being here. We got Paul, Gate City Picker. What's up, my man? Matt, Bending and Flipping. Good morning to you. Dawn, Two Hip Chicks is here. Neville's here. Cody, what's up, man? Destiny, the Shamrock Pixie. How you doing, Destiny?
We're gonna have to block her. She doesn't need to be here.
Time her out.
You still got that banner up. I don't know if you noticed.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Kesquivel 96. Thank you for being here. You're gonna have to type your name in the chat so I can say something a little easier than that.
Yeah, this is his first time here, so.
Oh, awesome! Glad you're here, man. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah,
and,
always nice to see new faces in the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. Stuff from Sally. Thank you for being here, Sally. And I think I'm Kelly the Econ Mom.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. I'm pretty sure I got everybody up to date.
Yeah. Good deal. Thanks for saying something, Derek. I was trying to say something a minute ago, but I'm glad we did that. Like we've always talked about, we feel like that's important.
I just want to give a shout out to Destiny. That's some good wifing right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Is she like a professional wife?
She's semi-professional.
Semi-pro.
Oh, it's Christy.
Christy. Yeah, I'm gonna remember that.
She's a good wife.
Thank you for being here, Christy. Hey, Harlan, how you doing?
So Harlan, I can't wait, dude. You better do that video we talked about last night. You better. I wish I could be there. I don't know. I know Craig knows what I'm talking about, but Harlan possibly is going to go down Fremont Street on the zip line as dressed up as Officer Dingle.
Yes, there you go.
That's gonna be awesome, dude.
Yeah. So we really focused on that first little round of time savings things was all around storage and all that. And I think that's one of the easy things. Not easy to do, but it was the first on our mind. But how do y'all? It's not really time saving. There's more kind of like the time management. But I think those two are very very close and very related.
Mm-hmm.
How do y'all handle sourcing? Do you only source? I know some people that like Mike, New Pound Pass, Thrifts and Flips. He only sources on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's what he chooses, and it works for him.
Mm-hmm.
I know I go to the thrift store because they're so convenient. I don't want to say as often as I can, but if I'm out and I'm in that direction, I'm gonna stop by.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing. Not that we waste time, because that's the wrong word. But you try and be more efficient with your sourcing when you're out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm of the same way, Craig. I will source anytime it's ready and available.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have a rhyme or a reason to it. Saturday is the big day because that's the yard sale day.
Right.
And if I don't get enough to where I feel satisfied yard selling, I'll go to the Goodwill afterwards. So I at least have a good bit of stuff to list.
Yeah, but see, like with us, I don't know how it is with you, Craig, but once October hits, then we're pretty much done, except for going to bazaars, and sometimes that's only a white elephant table during the winter. So we have to take a whole different direction when it comes to that. So
yeah,
I'd like to comment on Neville's thing that was just up on the screen here. And me and Destiny were just talking about doing that. Started doing that yesterday so I can get some content up or whatever. But haul videos.
Yep.
It would be video proof of what you have that may or may not be listed.
So that would serve two purposes. You're getting YouTube content and you're documenting what you have.
Right.
Right.
And
Exactly.
yeah, that's. Well, in fact, we're going to do one later this afternoon to show all the plush that we picked up yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, I typically will do that too, just so people can see what I'm sourcing and what works for me. They can also see my mistakes too. So I try to be transparent with that.
If you were transparent, we couldn't see you.
Touche.
Well, it's kind of hard to not miss Anthony.
Touche.
Yeah, Kelly's got a great point. I saw that in the chat, and that I just recently, organization is not one of my strong suits. If I get a wild hair up a part of my body every now and then, I'll do it. But boxes, if you've got a store, you've got the ability to buy the eBay branded boxes. Stay on top of that. The USPS priority boxes. What do you have to lose? They deliver them to your dang doorstep.
Right.
I went a little crazy with that when I first started, and I'm still dealing with boxes that I don't really use because in the beginning I was like, I don't know what I need, so I'm ordering a bunch of everything.
Yeah.
And I rarely use like the flat rate boxes and whatever. So I got a bunch of them sitting around. I got some in the garage. I got some sitting back here in a back room. But it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them.
Yeah. You know what I've found to do with boxes like that I don't use very often? I'll use them as far as like if something needs a wrap. You know what I mean? I'll wrap it in that and then I'll throw it in like a poly bag or something like that. Just to keep the thing more secure and safe. I know that's probably not, the preferred method of doing things, but in a pinch, when you need something and that's sitting there and you're not getting much use out of it, cut that sucker up.
Yep.
Right. And I've got a dedicated area now on my shelves that I've got my boxes organized. I wrote, instead of having to, some people can have a good eye for them. I need that box, I wrote the size, in Sharpie on the box. I've only got one box of each size box right here.
Mm-hmm.
Other excess boxes are in a different area, completely away from this area. So
I want to give a quick shout out to this guy right here. His name's Mark. He has a channel called Going Twice. He's a local Pittsburgh guy, so if you guys would show him some love, I'd appreciate it. Go ahead, click the 3 dots by his name. You want to drop your link, you can, Mark.
Paul Gate City Picker, put that one up there. And I've talked about this one in the past, not in depth, but he says, what about doing a bad buys video series? Everyone does what sells videos. What about what didn't sell?
Yeah.
You've got the whole BOLO acronym of, be on the lookout, but
not to buy.
Yeah,
All I have to do is open up the trunk of my van and you'll see everything that I have going to the flea market. Those are all of my bad buys.
Well, it's a bad buy, but it's not a bad buy because you are bringing it to the flea market and you are selling it. It's just not what you thought it was going to sell for.
And I don't think you see a lot of that. And I don't know if it's people are too prideful to admit they make a mistake, or it's they don't think people want to see that. I think it's valuable information because it potentially keeps somebody else from making the same mistake you made.
Right.
And theoretically and actually literally, a BOLO could become something you don't want to buy if it sits too long and you don't list it.
Right.
Or if
too
many people see the BOLO and everybody runs out and buys it, and then the price tanks.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I really don't like the whole BOLO system of people selling the list. If you're paying for a list, guess what? Other people are paying for it, and it's going to get saturated, and it's going to be that race to the bottom.
Dawn said her next channel is going to be "Don't buy this crap."
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, really, and I don't know why there's not much of it out there. I have a feeling people would watch it, but people are more interested in how to be successful. What sells, how can I make money? But if they, YouTube has taken the turn for entertainment versus education. I think, in my opinion,
Yeah,
a lot of it, and things that don't sell, or mistakes that you've made in buying things is more educational, in my opinion.
Right.
You know, it's tough.
I've done the same thing as Mark. What Mark's saying here, he garbage picks for boxes. I've done that, and I also get a bunch from the hospital my mom and wife work at, because they're in good with the people that dispose of all the boxes and stuff like that. So they get me all kinds of different sizes. But for like really, really weird stuff like this right here, these are 2 of those signs that came from the family video store.
Okay.
To find something to wrap these in is like ridiculously hard. So Dollar General, or not Dollar General, Dollar Tree has a whole bunch of like these old Christmas boxes they were throwing away, and I got a whole big box of them from behind by their dumpster, and they were perfect for wrapping those, or the exact size I need.
Right. Jason says in the Bad Buys video series, if you guys make enough bad buys to make a series, you got a problem. You know, I don't think it's a series, but I think people don't need to, as a content creator, you don't need to be afraid to show an item that you made a mistake on and educate somebody. Hey, I bought this slide for $30. I know it's a bad example. I bought this slide for $30. I thought I could sell it for $50. I shouldn't have bought it. Then anybody else that sees this slide is going to realize I don't need to buy it. You know?
Right.
Yeah, obviously you want to minimize those things, but you know, if I've learned a lesson, I need to, you know, help somebody else learn that they don't need to make that same mistake.
Right.
I think it's funny right here. So Mark says that's why my girlfriend can't get boxes from work. Your wife and your mom are taking them all. Because, his girlfriend actually works in the same department as my wife, or excuse me, as my mom at the hospital. So that sucks, man. I'll have them save you a few. I actually have too many if you want to come take some out of my basement.
If you sell more stuff, you wouldn't have so many boxes.
What's that?
If you would sell more stuff, you wouldn't have so many boxes.
I know. I need to get on that.
I only know that because I'm in the same boat.
Now, my wife works at the hospital, and they won't even let him take any boxes at all.
That sucks.
Well, I would think it depends on where it's coming from in the hospital, because there's potential biohazard, bio waste, whatever it's called. You know,
she works right next to central supply, and that's all pretty much the tubing and all that kind of stuff that they just stock, and it's all regular boxes, not biohazards or anything. So, but they just don't want anybody, because if the box is not broken down, how they see it is, you could be packing stuff in there and taking it home with you. So,
yeah, all the stuff I get's normally broken down.
Yeah.
See, I have a Napa auto parts store right around the corner from my house, and they love it when I come there and take boxes, because we're a small town, so they don't have like a regular pickup. They call when it gets full, and then they have to pay to have it dumped.
Right.
So the more I take, the less they have to pay for it. And the auto parts boxes are great because they're clean boxes. They're a variety of sizes, and they're the heavier, like double walled boxes.
Right.
And since I ship a lot of heavier items, they're great for that.
Yeah, because all that stuff is like brake parts and everything, so they need the double walled stuff because it's heavy anyway. So
I don't know if y'all watched. It was on Sue's channel this morning. You know, Scott's normal show, and Paul Gatesy Picker says Steve Alcorn talked in depth about the Monopoly game. It was a bad buy for him. It was a great buy for me. I got it early, and I'm not bashing Steve. It was tough. It was very competitive once that word, and that's another example of that Bolo got out there, and the price started tanking because people wanted to get their money back quick. And I think Steve is one that tried to hold on to his, and either the market crashed, it wasn't in demand as much. It's so easy for an item to go out of season, for the lack of a better term.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Ralph talked about it on Tom Gates Quincy Pickers yesterday. It's you look back at the Ralph Lauren polos a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, you could get $25 and sell those pretty regularly. Now you can't get $12 for them.
Right.
There's some that you can, but just not the average. That everybody was picking up, and that was another item that was on a couple of Bolo lists. Look at the tie industry, the necktie industry. You're going to be able to sell some, but you can't sell just
Like
run the mill top anymore. Like,
no, because people don't. People, if you look at today's, there's very few people, even at businesses that used to wear suits and ties, they're not really anymore. Everybody is more casual dress. If you look at most of the area,
Yeah, for sure. And DC Sales brings up a good point that we should also remember to use those quarterly eBay coupons if you have a store.
right?
It's great for getting shipping supplies. I absolutely love that coupon. It saved me so much money on buying stuff.
I wish they would expand the offerings. I wish they would offer bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. I would stock up.
Mm-hmm.
I think they don't offer bubble wrap because it's hard for them to brand it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
but they could generate sales by putting that in that store. And that whatever the name of the stores you order from, you know.
Mm-hmm. I know Paul, Great City Picker, says all his bad buys may not be my bad buys. You may know how to make it better, market it better, but know better words, better ideas on how to sell it.
Yeah,
so.
we're going to actually have a show on that, different keywords and stuff. I don't think it's tomorrow. I think it's next Thursday. That was a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking maybe Lisa C suggested that in the chat either yesterday or the day before.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, it was. I got them written down.
Yeah. So that I believe that's next Thursday's topic that we're going to talk about is different keywords and stuff like that.
Optimizing titles.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that could potentially move a slow moving item into a hot seller if you do it right.
Yep.
And when I say slow moving, I mean slow moving for you, because obviously if changing your title and your optimization turns it into a hot item, that means the item was already out there and selling anyway. You just put yours at a good location to sell. Yeah. We had a couple people jump in. I don't know if we said hey to Cody Bruh. I know you said something to him a minute ago, but I don't know if we said hello. Angie Treasured Vintage, welcome in. I saw somebody else. I'm sorry. Tommy Bernhard, we could talk to you. Welcome in. There's somebody else. I think you covered everybody else. Donatello, glad you could make it.
Donatella.
I've done that twice.
He's making her a turtle.
It could be worse. I could have called her Derek or something like that, you know.
Hey, welcome in.
Man, that's so bad.
Going twice asked, how do y'all list? One item at a time or create a bunch of drafts and then attach pictures?
I do one at a time.
One at a time.
Oh, yeah, I do one at a time. I tried doing the whole thing where take a bunch of pictures of a bunch of items and then go and create the listing. And then it was too hard for me to keep the pictures straight, especially if you're dealing with like 15 pairs of jeans and taking pictures of 15 pairs of jeans,
right?
Creating that separation point of, okay, this is this. All these pictures belong to this brand of jeans. All these, it got too hard. So
that's why I always put a number. And like I did that first when you would take pictures. I put a number 1 on the wall, and then that would be the first like 7, 8, 9 pictures, and then a number 2 on the wall, so you know.
That's a good idea. That shows where your next pair starts.
I take pictures on that table behind me back there, and it's just a white surface. And after I take a picture of one, I'll just take a blank frame, a blank picture, just the table, just to separate. You know, if you're doing jeans and there's not a distinguishing design or anything, it's hard to tell. Like you were saying with jeans, it's hard to say that's this pair, that's this pair, unless you keep up with what order.
Right, and when you're looking like through your folder, because I Dropbox, I take on a phone and it just Dropboxes into my computer. So when you're looking at a thumbnail, man, all jeans look the same in thumbnails to me.
Right. Good morning, Lonnie. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for your support, man.
Yeah,
seriously.
And Donatella said she's not a turtle.
I didn't say she was a turtle.
You called her Donatello, and then Anthony had the picture of the turtle.
Whatever. I tend to take one of two approaches with listing. I either start with pictures and take a batch of pictures and then come back and and create my listings, or I create drafts of X number of items and then take the pictures and attach them. One of the two.
So
I have not determined that one's doing it one way versus the other is any more efficient.
Now I know out of all of us and the chat, I use a regular camera to do my photos. How many other people use a regular camera towards their phone?
I use my phone.
I use my phone.
I do too.
I think for some reason because it's easier for me to do them on the phone and I can download them straight through into my computer that way. And it's easier for me with the laptop because it's larger for me, so I can break it down and do it that way. And that's why I said when I make numbers, that's when I do the cars and everything for racing, I put them up on the I put the big numbers so I know. But so
I don't use a camera because in my mind it would take one more step for me. Because I take it with the camera, I might have to take that memory chip out. Unless I know some of the newer cameras have the Wi-Fi connectivity and stuff like that. But
right,
I'm gonna take that memory chip out, put it in somewhere else, pull the pictures off. But again, that's just the way, just my perspective.
Yeah, but
if I can get my hands on a camera that would throw, wirelessly throw the pictures into a folder on my laptop, I would probably go that route. But I don't want to spend a lot of money on it. So
it's a good camera right here. This is the yep.
Right.
Does your shirt say Mr. Pickles?
What's that?
Does her shirt say Mr. Pickles on it?
No.
She leaned in. I said Mr. something.
Not Rushmore.
Oh, okay.
Well, I should make a shirt with Mr.
Look at
Pickles.
this coffee cup she brought me down.
Nice.
I mean, literally, it's almost the size of my head.
The sad thing is, I made coffee before I came in here, and I've yet to walk back and get my cup of coffee. I didn't think about it until you just said that.
This is the ELF. This is the ELF 360. This has Wi-Fi connection.
Oh, cool.
So this is something. I mean, I know they're going for about 130, 140. We got this at an estate sale, brand new, with two SD cards for $10.
And that's got the Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it's got see how it has the Wi-Fi button right here?
Nice.
And what is it, the L360?
The ELF 360, I think it's HS.
I think I've sold a couple of those before.
And
They
it's
come in
Wi-Fi.
different colors, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I bought like 3 of them from a yard sale once from a family. I guess like all 3 of their kids had them or something.
Mm-hmm.
They just
did it. That's a 20 megapixel, that camera.
Wow.
And my God, the pictures are amazing. I did send some pictures to a couple of people when I first started doing clothing because I can't stand clothing. And they were like, oh, they thought it was going to be like really crappy pictures because it's my first time taking pictures with clothing, and they were like, wow, that's really good considering on first time I've ever taken pictures of clothing. Yep. Hot Wheels are easy. I can put them on. I have my little display and boom, right there. It takes 2 seconds to do them. But when it comes to clothing, no way. I'm out of clothing.
I think I'd have a hard time not using my phone just because I'm so used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, phones are expensive. Not just the one I have, but you've got so much invested in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but how out of all of us, how many people use their phone to do their listings?
I just use my phone for the pictures. I don't touch my eBay listing with my phone at all because I've experienced bad issues in the past with that.
Okay. So that's why I use my laptop. So it's easier for me, or I connect it into the TV and I do it that way. So that's why I use a camera instead of using my phone, because I just don't like the way that to connect it back over.
Going twice made a good point. I think the up and down of doing them one at a time is very time consuming. And that is true, and even though my photo area is basically, I could spin if I turn my table a little bit, I could just spin out of my chair and take the picture. But I've actually, for listening, I think one thing that would greatly improve my time and productivity, and I've been looking at them, they're just quite expensive, are the stand-up desks, where I actually eliminate my chair because it'll keep me moving. Because a lot of times I sit down and I'm like, okay, and then
what do they call
get in a
those
relaxed
things?
mode where I think if I got one of them stand-up desks, if I never sit down, I'll keep moving and keep producing and being productive.
That's what I love about a roller chair. I'll literally, and my wife thinks I'm so lazy for this, which I probably am. I will roll all over the basement. If I need to shake stuff, I'll roll over there. Like, I got no shame in my game.
Do you have a train track on the floor that you kind of roll around on, or is it just free?
What's that?
Typically, if I sit down and do listing, I'm gonna work from a bin. A reason, not a huge bin, but a smaller bin that I know that I can feel a sense of accomplishment. You know, I'm gonna grab a manageable size of items to list, and I'm gonna either go take all the pictures at once, or like I said a minute ago, I'm gonna sit here and draft all the draft for those, and then go over there and take all the pictures. Again, just because it works for me doesn't mean that it's the best, or it'll work for you. That's just what I choose. But yeah, I can make sense of the not being efficient by working on one listing and going back and forth. If you have to go from sitting here to over there, now if you've got everything right here within arm's reach, doing that, taking the picture or doing the draft at the same time, I could see being efficient. But I think it's, you got to have the time and the space to do all that,
DC Cell says, future topic, what tech can you use for workaround when you don't have expensive equipment?
That'd be a good one.
That's not a bad idea.
Nope.
Write that down.
Who's the secretary? Derek, write that down.
You won't. You can't read my chicken scratch.
I am terrible. My handwriting is terrible. That and reading comprehension are the two things that kept me off of the AB honor roll in elementary school. My handwriting was terrible.
I'll just use an envelope. I don't feel like looking for paper.
Yeah. Had a couple other people jump in. BK Vending and Flipping, welcome in. Mary Deethy, good morning. Glad you could make it.
See, Lonnie said even standing really helps, and I noticed in all his videos you don't see him sitting down. He's up and he's moving.
Yep.
Nate, every day I'm hustling. What's up, bud?
Yeah. Speaking of standing, my mom actually even suggested to me the other day, because she knows I basically hibernate down here in the basement.
Yeah.
Basically listening all day and, working on stuff. And it's like terrible for like my hips and my back, because sitting's like literally the worst thing I can do. So she'd suggested getting one of those like flexible riser things for my laptop. That way I can stand. I was like, that would be awesome. The only thing then would be like, I literally list right here. So it's like if I'm doing a listing day, then it's like sit stand. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It'd be like being in a Catholic church almost.
What I have out in the garage that I use for a toolbox, actually we bought it from our hospital's rummage sale, and it's an old medical cart, the ones that the nurses walk around with whatever, the pills and everything on it. And it's a good, it's a nice standing height to use it. They have their laptop sitting on top. And I actually thought about cleaning that out and cleaning it up, because I use it for a toolbox in the garage and bringing it in and making that my workstation. Mm-hmm. And I got an inverter with a deep cycle battery that would run my laptop all day, and I could just roll with my laptop right through the basement.
I think Ashley would die if she saw it. It's a code card. That's what he has for his.
That's what I said. They have those in hospitals. It's on just
he's using the code card.
Yeah. Well, the reason I used it as a toolbox is because it's in my garage, but my garage isn't big enough to put a single car garage, and you can't put a car in there and work on it. So I got to work on cars in my driveway, and I got tired of running back and forth to the garage. So I just take this cart. They're heavy duty.
Yeah.
I just roll it out to where I'm working. It's right next to me. All my tools are right there.
He's got the paddles in there. Clear.
I have one of the carts from the hospital that they use to like roll over the bed so you can like eat your meal when you're in in the
Oh, yeah,
hospital.
yeah,
You know, like
that's the bedside tables. Yep.
yeah. My mom got me one of those when the hospital was closing down. So I keep like all my envelopes and tape and all that stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool too. I'd want one of those for my living room, because we eat in front of our TV all the
Can't
time.
beat that.
Who needs a TV tray when you have one of those?
Right, and you can adjust it depending on what chair you're sitting on. I don't like the TV trays. I think they're too low. I hate that little bar that go, because we have the wood ones. So you got to make sure it's turned a certain way, otherwise your feet are hitting that thing. And our couch is kind of low, so you're kind of eating like this over it. It's one of those you just adjust it. You can sit back and pull it right up to you. And man, I'd love one of them things.
I have to do this, guys, but we had Miss Anna Mora jump in. So good morning, Miss Anna Mora.
I want to give a quick shout out to my buddy Nate. He's another Pittsburgh reseller. He doesn't have any content right now, but he's going to start doing some content. He was on our working hangout this past Saturday, and he and I are going to meet up and do some yard sales and maybe the bins and some different, cross promotional videos. So if you guys would show him some love, he doesn't have a whole lot of yet, but he's a good dude.
We need to get him back on. He was fun to hang out with on Saturday.
Yeah, Nate is cool. We've been talking a lot since he's been on, and Nate, you rock. Thanks for helping us out the other day, and thanks. I got that PM from you, so totally understand, buddy. You got it. So,
wow. So we're talking about time saving tips. We talked about sourcing. We talked about storage. We talked about listing. What about in the shipping process? Do you have anything that you do specifically to save time, or do you have is it based on how many orders you have come in?
I have my shipping area set up. I mean, I have a whole nother laptop. I have another Dymo shipping label. I have another thermal printer over there, a complete shipping station set up for my labels and my invoices and whatever, and all the boxes, bubble wrap, tape I need is all right here within reach. So unless I'm dealing with like something like a big receiver, I can pack everything, grab my item and bring it over, and I don't have to like go over here and get a box or go over there and get a poly. Everything's right within reach, and that saves a ton of time. I got 5 or 6 orders going out today, and I can get them all packed up in like 10 minutes.
Nice.
Right. And I know a lot of people are different in the way they do their shipping. Some people will take all their items and pack them up and don't print the labels and write on them, hey, wait, go ahead and weigh it. You're not saying that's right, wrong, or indifferent. Again, we get back it seems like everything we talk about, we get back to the point of just because one person or I do it or somebody else does it a certain way doesn't mean it's right. But everybody's got great processes. You just got to pick what works best for you. Yeah.
Now, do you guys use the bulk shipping, or do you ship one at a time?
I ship. I go through the shipping orders awaiting shipment list. I don't use the bulk shipping screen.
Yeah, I don't either. Where it spits out all your labels at once.
Yeah,
I'm so scared I'm going to confuse my packages and send stuff off to the wrong place.
I do them one at a time too.
And I think a lot of those, whatever process you choose, is probably based on the number of orders you have going out. I've had good days, but I've never had that day where I just feel overwhelmed with shipping. If I ship out 8 or 9 things, that's a good day for me. I would potentially have to rethink my process if I had 15 or 20 items going out consistently, which is where I need to be.
Right. I see a lot of people talk about how they hate shipping. They're like, oh, I just hate shipping. I hate shipping. I myself love shipping. It's one of my favorite things to do in the process besides sourcing, because I just feel a sense of accomplishment. Something's going out the door,
One thing I do to save time when shipping is I'll take my phone and I'll see what all sold. So I'm going through, I'm pulling all of the orders at once. So I'll have them all set aside, and then I'll go through and I'll pull all the boxes and poly bags, bubble mailers, everything I'm going to need for shipping, and I'll just set it right next to my little setup here, and then I'll just go one by one,
Right.
packing and shipping. You know what I mean? Dymo's cut down tremendously on time too, because you just click a button, boom, pops out a little sticker. You slap it on there, and you're ready to go.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I love my Dymo, and I got the old ones. I got a Dymo 330, which is perfect for doing these, and then I have the 450 turbo that I have for my shipping labels. And yeah, having a Dymo versus printing them out and then taping them down saves a ton of time.
Yeah,
and you don't need any ink for them.
Right.
There's no ink to change. There's nothing like that.
and you'll continue to pick up, the more you watch YouTube videos and stuff, you'll continue to pick up little tips from people. I can't tell you how much of what I do, I picked up just watching other people do stuff, and it's basically trial or error. You know what I mean? Was I able to, make this a more efficient way of doing things or not? So.
Yesterday, Destiny got a package from somebody, and really confused what it was by what it came in, and I'm not going to say what it is because I think she's doing a video later or going live later with it. Right. But I found that when I pack, and this was a more fragile item, when I pack, I way overdo it, because this was packed and it was packed very well, but I would have never thought of packing it that way. And it was very efficient and probably safer for a fragile item than the way I ship, because I go overboard. I bubble wrap, then I stick it in peanuts, and then I double box.
Yeah,
And I'm like, wow, this made it packed like this. I'm way overdoing it. I can cut shipping expenses, shipping time, and shipping size and weight.
But talking about liking shipping, that's, I don't want to say I enjoy it, but out of all the processes, the sourcing, the listing, if I'm shipping something, like you said, you have a feeling of accomplishment, something going out the door. But also, you're not shipping if you're not selling. If I'm shipping something, that means there is a monetary gain on that action.
Yeah.
So that's it's not that I enjoy it, but it's one that's a lot easier to accept or get through my mind. This is okay. It's not as bad as it seems. It's work, but I know that some money has come in the door from doing this.
I picked up a lot of shipping tips watching Garage Flips. You'll see a lot of different types of things that he sends out. Whether or not he's going to double box it, whether he's going to use peanuts or bubble tape or whatever, you know what I mean? Just a different variety of things I've seen him ship gave me a lot better sense of a way I can ship certain items, whether I need a Frankenbox, whether it needs a wrap, those type of things are invaluable when you're sending stuff, because the goal is to get it there without breaking it.
That's the big thing, yeah. Because I was watching a video the other day where some of these people, they just throw it. They just throw the package and you sit there going, no.
Look at the way Amazon ships stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The approach I've always tried to take, and I'm like you, Tommy, I tend to overdo it. Maybe not to the level that you were talking about, but I'm right there on that edge. And I always try and take the approach of, how would I want to receive this one? If I bought this, what would my comfort level? How would I feel if I purchased this $300 statue that's porcelain and it's packed in a bubble mailer? How would I? Not that I'd overdo that, but
right.
Treat others the way you'd want to be treated, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And Tommy B says that he's amazed at how many YouTubers are kind of clueless on shipping and ways to save tons of money. And I'm one of them people. That's why I always look at shipping tips, because I'm down to save as much as I can. I go not with first class or your padded flats or whatever, because they're the same. But when it comes to anything bigger or oddly weighted, I have my eBay shipping open. I have my pirate ship open. I run it through both. I compare the prices. I trim the box. If trimming off 3 inches of a box can save me a couple of bucks, I do that.
Right. Yep.
Absolutely.
Especially with dimensional shipping now.
Right.
I've learned so much in 2 months, and Tommy will tell you, because the first package I shipped you're like, what are you paying that much for? Because it wasn't right because I'm so used to using eBay and not going on my own, and all of a sudden it's like I've saved like $7 in the last time I shipped because it was like, okay, I didn't have to do it that way, you know.
Hey guys, I want to give a quick shout out to Aaron Marcus and the voting that's going on as far as helping him get his teeth fixed. What he needs done is $45,000 to $60,000. He doesn't have that kind of money. He's a man who served the country. He was a veteran, and if you guys could take like literally 3 seconds of your time to go and vote for him, that'd be awesome. The link is in the chat.
And you can vote more than once. I think you can vote. Throw them a vote every day.
Yeah.
How many of you people use the box in polybag method to cherry pick your axe? I do it all the time if it's going to save money.
I'm using it right here.
Donatella uses it all the time.
Yeah.
But the key is, and the way I understand it, is you have to measure the bag before you put the box in it or before you seal it. You know, it's not just the tape down to the box size.
So I've actually, if it was too big to fit in my what are they, 13 by 10, 14 by 10 poly bags, it's too big for that, so I got to go to the bigger eBay bag.
Mm-hmm.
I actually will cut the bag down to the size I need to fit to take that measurement. And that's why I say to save 3 inches, I can take 6 inches off that bag. It makes a difference.
So size does matter.
Yeah, size always matters. I don't care what we say.
I tried not to go there. I couldn't resist it though.
Boy. Well, we're at 10:58, guys. Going to go to 11:15 again.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that seems to be becoming pretty much the standard, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, when did you become Canadian?
Hey, I live right by the border. And we're in the Dells, so we get a lot of Canadian tourists. Kind of rubs off on you.
Yep. What else? What other ways can you save time? I think we covered a good bit of them, at least business related.
Yeah.
You know, we definitely appreciate all the input from the chat. You know, like I said, we don't claim to be pros at this. We don't claim to be the gold standard. You know, we learn as much from y'all as y'all hopefully learn from us sometimes. You know, we definitely appreciate the interaction.
One way you can save time and save some money, make sure that you map out where you're going to go on Saturday or Sunday before you even get out there. Because if you're going all the way out and then coming all the way back in for one yard sale, you know, you got to work your way out. I know, Anthony, you were doing that in that video where we're going to bounce out here first and then work our way back. Some people, I've seen people, they'll start in around here, they'll start across the bridge, go all the way over there, and then come all the way back, and then go all the way back home again. It's like,
and that's where you can put your, like for yard sales, you can put your phone to work with the yard sale treasure map app. That saves me a ton of time in yard sales because it marks the listed ones, and then the ones I come across on the way I stop at, and you know.
The best thing to do is have a route that's shaped like a circle.
Right.
That you're not wasting any time. You're hitting everything, and you're just the most efficient. You can get to the most sales as possible. Because here's the thing: you want to beat other pickers to the sale. You know, it's not just about getting to the sale; it's about getting to the sale before the other people that are going to take the stuff that you're looking to buy.
Right.
The early bird gets the worm for sure.
And when you guys come up, and you're going to see when we do a Saturday, when we do the yard sale, if it's nice out, you're going to see how easy my route is to get through 3 cities without even deterring opposite ways and going, you know, it's so easy.
I use the yard sale treasure map. You can basically get that in the App Store, Google Play, wherever whatever you have.
In route's another one that a lot of people use.
I hear a lot about that one. I haven't used it, but I believe that's one that Bearded Picker also uses, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I've seen like Lonnie and Justin, them guys use that too.
I heard that Waze is starting to where you can add yard sales into it. Like, you know how they have all the different, okay, there's caution, slow, police here, and they're working on putting something where you can add little content into there, like if it's a yard sale, it's slowing down this road, or so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I tend to I try and use the circle method like you're talking about, that coming out and working your way out and coming back. But I if there's anything really close to the house, I try and hit that first. We talked about this a handful of days ago on one of our other shows, but if I see a cluster,
I love
it's got, I really don't look at a lot of the items that are listed, stuff like that. If I see a cluster, I'm heading towards that as soon as I can.
Yeah, sure.
Because I can hit so many sales, neighborhood sales, church sales, those things that grab my attention, And,
church sales are my favorite. I'm telling you, I love church sales.
Because you never know.
They got that stuff priced to go. They don't want to sit on it till their next church sale. So I love church sales.
That's because you need to be in church. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's why we go to Anthony's on Tuesdays.
Yeah, right.
If anybody is into that, Tuesday, Anthony has a Bible study that is really good.
Yep.
Be sure to check that out. It's on his channel.
Yep. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single Tuesday.
A lot of fun.
And anybody want to get into racing? Well, usually it's on Friday night, but this week is on tonight. We'll have our racing tonight, and cars are already picked. And I've learned that starting next week with the racing, the people who are racing will be able to go into a new website where I've linked up to going to racing, where you can pick where the bracket is online for you guys to go through. And it's called Kalik. I'll get the link for you, but you can literally go and watch the whole racing bracket work right in front of you. If you're watching the video on one side and you have the bracket on your left side, and if you win, your name slides up to the next spot, and then it's pretty cool how it works. Really high end.
I'd like to respond to the cherry picker. She says she's so very new. How do you put poly bags as your shipping method on eBay? It always asks for 3 dimensions. Sorry, clueless. And I remember being at that point, and we're trying to listen to the videos. And like for us, pirate ship, we know what that is. But people that are new, I didn't know what is it, how does it work, and yeah, eBay doesn't give you the option to put a poly bag as your dimensions, so you have to use an outside program. Like Pirate Ship is the one that I found that I like to use, and when you can sign up, it's free to use. They don't charge you like any fees for doing the labels, and you can actually save money over eBay shipping with it. Not on everything, but on a lot of things I've saved money. But when you go to ship on there, it asks you if you're shipping in a box, if you're shipping in a bag, if you're shipping in a padded flat rate. And then it'll give you, if you pick the bag, it'll give you the 2-dimension. So that would be thepirateship.com.
Cool. And Nate, yes, you are in the race. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But Nate, we can help you with that.
And Nate, if you want a guaranteed win, $39.95 to Derek, and you'll win at least one race.
That must be why I lose every week. Tommy's asking, where do we find churches that advertise their sales? I found a ton of them through the treasure map in my area.
Mm-hmm.
So that must mean they're using Craigslist, also in the newspaper and stuff like that. I also kind of get a little bit of an inside track on some churches, like anything that I'm connected to through the network of churches that I belong to. I'll get, like, hey, we're doing this or that, especially if they know what I do as far as reselling, then they'll definitely reach out to me on that.
I've seen some advertise. It's not the church advertising, but I've seen members advertising church sales on Facebook in some of the sale groups.
Right. It's usually the lady or gentleman that's running it for the church.
Right.
a lot of the times the priest or the minister doesn't run it. He usually has one of the deacons run it if they're there and stuff like that. So
I really wish yard sale treasure map would extend to. I know it is crowdsourced. It automatically pulls it from Craigslist, and you can add sales manually through the app. I wish it would pull from other places like.
I really wish it would too.
Newspaper websites. I mean, it would take some programming. It could be done from newspaper websites, from Facebook. It could very easily become the one stop for yard sales.
right.
Tommy said God sends me the list every Tuesday at Bible study.
He doesn't send them the penny list.
Could you imagine God just sending you a list of like all of the great places to go and the time to be there? That would be amazing. Like, Lord, direct my steps.
Direct my step. There is going to be every single video game unit with all games set for you on this corner. Now you go.
Absolutely. That would be a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It could happen.
Good point by Glenn here. He says you can buy yourself in early to a church sale. I've never even tried to do that. I might give that a shot.
Yeah, you say you're going to give a donation to the church, and they'll let you in earlier. Yeah.
Nice.
You know, I mean, a lot of people get upset at you, but oh well.
The church isn't going to turn away money.
No. Nope. Not at all.
You know? Wow. Yeah, I had a pretty good church sale that was right here close to the house last weekend, and didn't buy a lot of stuff. Ended up getting an OGO bag, which OGO is a great brand.
Yeah, you said that.
I turned it on Facebook in like less than 24 hours.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Paid 10 and got
you, Craig.
Do what?
Here's a good one for you.
Uh-oh.
Side hustles.
That is one of my things. I don't just do it when it's slow. With computer programming, it's hard to turn away work if I have the opportunity because of the hourly rate that it affords me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's, so many people diversify, whether it's selling on multiple platforms, eBay, Amazon, the unmentionable one, Macari, et cetera. You can diversify that way. You can diversify. I know Pat Dees talks about doing Instacart and things like that,
Yep.
It's tough, slow months are slow, but another approach you can take is if it's a slow month and you're not selling much, that means you can spend more time listing, It's
true.
But yeah, I've always done side work when it comes to computer programming, computer work, even when I had full-time jobs. It's just hard to turn away that potential income.
Yeah, for sure. For me, just being a doubly ordained minister, it's easy for me to get kind of side gigs, like as far as, weddings, funerals, like any type of life event that people are looking for a minister. I'm able to then, step in and help with that. Also, sometimes if you go speak at other churches, they take up a love offering for you. Some of them do like an honorarium where you get like a set amount to go. I don't really do it for the money per se, but you know what I mean? If somebody's going out of their way to like take up a collection, to honor me, I'll receive it.
If you're into doing funerals, I'm gonna have a funeral for my eBay store here in a few days. it's dying to slow down.
Don't forget what you planned last night. We got to do it. December 26th from 1 to 103.
Exactly.
eBay closed.
Yep. Yep. There's a lot of options. People are getting into the whole merch thing, and there's so many ways you can diversify. Not know people that do the day trading. Pat, again, using Pat's example. Pat's got his hands in a lot of things, and sometimes it takes that in case one piece slows down, whether that's eBay or Instacart or the side gigs like you're talking about doing, not side gigs, but doing weddings, funerals. Those things aren't going to come up every day,
Mm-hmm.
And it could be that one supports the other and the other support, it just depends, because it's tough to be dependent on one avenue of income in these kind of markets that we're talking about. So you don't need to overextend yourself, but
You have 4 minutes before, guys.
that's quick math for somebody in Rhode Island. You had the calculator app open on your phone, on your. I'm kidding.
1, 2, 3, 4. There you go.
You guys want to go ahead and say anything, in parting? Also, Christy wants to know why it's called the unmentionable.
It's just it's a platform I've chosen not to devote time to.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying can't talk about it. It's just
me too. I'm not saying it's a bad platform. I'm just saying it didn't work for me.
Right. And it got to the point when we do our introductions. I sell on eBay or Mercari, Facebook, Poshmark, and finally got to the point. No, I really don't sell on Poshmark. All I do is go and get new followers, and
we have accounts and we have listings. We just don't have sales.
Right. And
that's my case.
The juice is not worth the squeeze for me because I don't have an interest in clothing. In bulk, that is.
Yeah.
And I think to be successful in clothing on Poshmark, you have to do it in bulk, and you have to have an understanding of fashion. And I don't have either one.
That's how. I mean, we did clothing. We started out in clothing because it's very good for entry level, low investment. It's readily available at any thrift store you walk into. It's super cheap at the bins. Yeah. But me and Destiny, we're not fashion people. We don't know what's hot in brands now. I never heard of silver jeans before I started selling on eBay. I mean, I'm a Wrangler Rustler kind of guy, So we were trying to learn it, and talk about bad buys. Boy, I didn't know when we first started. I thought these are sharp, blingy women's jeans, but they're paid for. They ain't worth nothing, So I mean, we had a lot of those buys in the beginning, but it didn't hurt us too bad because we got them at the bins. We paid $1 a pound, so we were able to take them over to the flea market and recoup some money.
Cheap education, right?
That's how we looked at it. I mean, there ain't no education out there that's free. You're gonna the same with, like I was telling Cherry Picker here. I'm willing to help her in any way I can with the shipping because I look at it as I lost a lot of money in shipping when I first started. But really, I didn't lose money. I just didn't make as much profit as I could have. I didn't lose anything out of pocket, but I could have made a lot more money if I had the shipping zoned in. But it takes time because you can't just go and say, okay, well, this is how you ship, because every item is different, especially when you get into oddball items that don't fit in a padded flat rate or a little poly bag under a pound,
Yeah. Sure.
So I'm willing, anybody, that's new and starting, and, I do feel that a lot of the YouTubers out there forget what it's like in the very beginning and how, we talk about things that now make sense. Okay, like I say with pirate ship, yeah, we just use pirate ship. Okay, but in the beginning, that means nothing to a newbie.
Right.
So I'm willing to help anybody out, and that's why I put my email address out there publicly, thebargaineffect@gmail.com. Anybody has questions about anything, shipping, lighting, photographs, just drop me an email. Sometimes it's hard to get in the chats here and they ask question, we don't see it or whatever, but they're always welcome to email me, and I'll tell you at least my experience and what I know, try to help you out.
Yeah, sure.
That's basically my parting words too.
Adam just came in, and Darlene, we're singing to you, okay? See,
there's no we, it's you. Always sing in the shower.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate everybody showing up again this morning. And like I've said previous days, there would be no reason for a show if we didn't have viewers. And we definitely appreciate the interaction, the information, everything. It's a pleasure to interact with y'all every day.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Like I say, I learn just as much from the people out there in chat too than the information that we try to help people with too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For sure.
All right, Mr. Anthony, it's your call, buddy.
Alrighty, guys. I just appreciate everyone being here. I want to make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell button because tomorrow morning we'll be here again, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another mid-morning break room. But guys, until then, I hope you all take it easy. Thanks for being here.
See you
If you
tonight,
make
guys.
that thumb blue before you leave, that'd be great.
Yep.